Actually, almost the next day, maybe, or the next week, after the decision was made in favor of Baku, we became a subject of a media attack from the West. It was expected, and many people whom I discussed Azerbaijan's presidency, I mean among my colleagues, heads of states and governments, were warning me that that will be a big headache. But we clearly realized that will be subject of attack. We could not, how to say, predict what will be the topics of accusation, but we were sure that there'll be enough. But we've started to be accused for being a country rich with oil and gas. And that was very strange because, and by the way, UAE, the COP28 president, also was subject of the same attacks. But unfortunately, there was such a broad, coordinated media process against us that at first we were not prepared for that. And we, of course, tried to explain that it is not our fault that we have oil and gas. You should not judge us by that. You should judge us how we use the revenues, how we diversify economy, how we tackle unemployment and poverty. And all those figures today at the level of the developed countries, and maybe sometimes even below. I mean, 5% of poverty is something which many countries would wish to have, and that's because of a fair distribution of the wealth generated from fossil fuel sales. Transparent and absolutely accountable. But nevertheless, this trend continues. I can tell you that by the time passing, there are less and less attacks on us. Our team, COP team, is working very efficiently, is actually spending most of their time outside, in different meetings. And our COP agenda is very clear, very predictable, and result-oriented. So I would say that after 6 months have passed since even more the decision was made, we are now less under fire, but we understand that the closer to the event, the fire level will grow. Coming back to what we just discussed prior about this unjust coverage and double standards, we all know that one of the COP was held in Glasgow, in an oil-producing part of United Kingdom. No one accused United Kingdom for oil and gas. So this is just one illustration of what we were talking about. But you know, the advantage of this event many times prevails this, if I may use this word, disadvantages, because this is the main event on global scale. This is conference number 1 on international arena. And for the first time, it is being held in the area of former Soviet Union and the region. And it is a unique chance for us to step into a higher league, because we are not only organizing, we do a lot on the substance. We launch initiatives. We now actively work with developing countries in order to build bridges between global south and global north. Our advantage is that we've been chairing non-aligned movement for 4 years, the institution with 120 countries. And we've been selected unanimously, and our chairmanship was prolonged for 1 more year unanimously. So a lot of credit we got there because we did a lot as a chair. I don't want to go in much details. At the same time, Azerbaijan is one of the few countries, and maybe the only, in our part of the world and in former Soviet Union, which has signed or adopted strategic partnership declarations and agreements with 10 members of EU. 10 members of EU officially are Azerbaijan's strategic partners. We are members of Islamic Cooperation Organization. We are members of OPEC Plus format. We work actively with oil-producing countries, and we made already proposals how oil-producing countries can be more instrumental in accumulation of financing. We actively communicate with European institutions. I was just yesterday returned from London from a European Political Community Summit, which I participated already for the third time. So this is our advantage. And we can build bridges, because what I realized, I frankly speaking was not deeply involved in climatic agenda before. But now what I realize that there is a big mistrust between developed and developing countries. Mutual blames, mutual accusations, who did more to damage the planet and who is more responsible, and how to bring those responsible to, I don't know, to justice, to punishment. So we want to put down all of that, because that will lead us to nowhere. We now are launching a program of supporting small island developing states. Our president of COP29 will be in 1 week time in UK and meeting with Commonwealth officials. So we already announced that we will establish, together with Commonwealth, joint fund to support small island developing states. For them, this is an existential threat. And so we do a lot on that track. And I think that using the very positive legacy of UAE as a COP28 president, we can build on that. But, you know, the funny thing is that before UAE, it was Egypt, which was also fossil fuel producing country. And after us, it will be Brazil. So the same. But this demonstrates that these countries, which are absolutely on the safe side with respect to energy security, they want to demonstrate their responsibility, and they want to make contribution to invest in green technologies, in green transition. And as Madam Rebecca said, one of the topics will be green solidarity. Yes, the year 24 is Green Solidarity Year in Azerbaijan, officially announced. So I hope that we will have good events and good results, and of course invite all our friends to be with us in November.